Hello Scrappy fans, how are we all today? I am back finally with another process video. It's a 12 by 12 layout with a bit of mixed media attached to it. It's almost could be another find your stash, because in the end this layout was a bit of a find your stash because I had to rummage through. It was a bit of a frustrating layout because it was a little bit out of my realm as such with the colours and things like that. It was a layout for Kraft Plus challenges for the month of February, and they went for a coastal chic theme, I think it was called. I chose not to do the sort of coastal beachy theme. I thought to do my own take on it. So here we are with a photo of our family puppy dog Archer. During a storm mid last year, we bring him inside, especially here in Canberra when it's really cold and things like that. And he's not a big fan of being inside. So I took a photo of him, two photos here. One just sort of looking at me like, what, Mum, what am I supposed to be doing? And the other with a bit of a doggy smile, we call it. So yeah, as you can see in the background there, and I used some white texture paste to run through a stencil, a Kraft stencil, just to give a bit of a wavy kind of look. It didn't quite go according to plan, as you can see over the pages, some bits and pieces there, like some splodger pieces. Wasn't too happy with. And the other side to this video is, yet again, I somehow managed to miss a little bit of it. So what you can see here is me just placing down some bits and pieces. I have chosen to do the tags here just as a bit of an extra bit on the side. I think from the original sketch it had like florally pieces and things like that up the side there. I chose to do something a little bit different, but still keeping in with the colour scheme. I'm just using my We Are Memory Keepers, I believe it is, I could be wrong, little mini stapler. Doesn't always work the best. It was given to me by a friend, but you know, it did the trick here, and then I fight with it the next time I try and use it. Those little banner pieces you can see underneath the picture there of the dog, I made using the diamond press. If anyone saw one of my spotlight haul videos a while back, I brought a banner piece to make these with, because I can never cut them. They always seem to look odd when I do it. So I thought, why not get something, you know, that's always right. So yeah, I cut some banner pieces there because, again, on the sketch it had like that a big banner piece sort of sitting under those photos. And I didn't want to make a big piece. I just thought I'd make it a little bit different. As I said, I took my own take on it, you know, still keeping in with what the sketch was. So just taped some twine or run through some twine through the edge of the tag, the end of the tag there, just to finish it off, and just popping that down. Now, I had some idea of what I was doing, but at the same time, no idea what I was doing. As I said, it was a really frustrating layout, but I'm really glad how it turned out. Just because I wasn't sure what pieces to use, I didn't, you know, have all these blue floral pieces and things like that, and how I was going to make different bits and pieces to go on it. So as I said, it's a bit of a find your stash one, I guess you could say, as well, because as I said, I pulled out bits and pieces in my stash that I don't always use. I don't usually use, for example, the twine there, and whilst it's actually from my stepdaughter's stash, shh, don't tell her, I still used it. And these other little blue pieces that you'll see, blue ephemera pieces you'll see on there, are hiding away in the back of one of my drawers. So that little blue tub there that you can see just has bits and pieces in it. You've probably seen it in all my other videos. I use it just to pop in older pieces from my Kitaholic kits, or bits and pieces. As you can see, there's an Amy Tan paper pad that had like little cutout pieces, phrase pieces on it. I've just popped that in there because I've used a little bit of it. I don't want it to get lost amongst all my paper pads, so I've just popped it in there as well. They're just sort of odds and ends from different kits that I've got left over that don't always necessarily have a place in my stash, or I really would like to try and use, and that's where I reach to first if I can. These little banner pieces you see here were made out of just some scrap bits of blue paper I had in my stash. So yeah, I just rummaged through and found that and went, right, this'll do. I did have trouble sticking some of these down on the paper. As you can see throughout the video, I probably am pushing down a bit on the photos to make them stick. That frame piece, couldn't tell you where I got it from. It is that old. I just found it and I wanted to use a frame. Don't know if anyone else, let me know. You get in a mood, you go, yep, I really want to use this, or I really want to try and use this. And you try and make it work on a layout. That's what this frame was. It's around that picture. as well as actually the little frame piece that's under the second picture. You might see it came in a kit and I just couldn't figure out how to use it. I just couldn't get it to work every time I did a layout. I think it was from January. I made it work this time. Yay! So yeah, just as you can see here, just pulling out another piece of paper. This has got stars, I think, on it from my stash. And just using the die cut there for the diamond press to make a little wavy circle piece. Now I do sometimes have trouble with my diamond press. I don't know if anyone else does. Sometimes it just doesn't cut through, especially glitter cardstock I'm finding. It's just not cutting through properly. Drives me nuts, and you'll see it in the video in a little bit. I do cut out the fight I have with trying to get the piece out. In the end, I think I give up and just use my punches to punch out different shapes. It's probably time I get a new little folder for it too, actually. Let's do that. Yeah, see, as you can see here, it doesn't always cut. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not all that old. It's really barely 12 months old, so I'm not really sure what's happening there. As you can see just then, I grabbed that blue ephemera piece that was in the Kitaholic kits for February. And I wanted to use it up there because in that corner as well on the sketch, it had like some flower pieces and things like that. As I said, sort of floral ephemera pieces. So I really wanted to try and make it as close to that as possible whilst adding my own little flair to it. And I think with the challenge too, it did have the colour scheme. I think it was a bit of a mood board as well. So, you know, you had different types of blues and deeper blues and a greys colour and things like that. So yeah, just rummaging through my little tub of mixed goodness there. There's two little leftover pieces to use. And just pulling out some things that might work. So I pulled out that little circle piece that's got the date written on it because I needed to put the date on it. And that other little piece that you can see there that I'll end up journaling on, and it will be moved to the bottom of the layout. Both of those pieces are from the same ephemera pack. Can't remember what the ephemera pack is, to be honest. But yeah, so it might be, Take Me Away, a ephemera pack we got a couple of months back. Not sure. Anyway, so yeah, here I am just trying to fuss around. As I said, I didn't have a set plan. I was a bit frustrated with how I was going to do this. And when the texture based at first didn't work out, I sort of thought this could be a bad sign and maybe I should just give up. But I didn't, as you can see, I persist. Yeah, just looking through my stash now as to what I'm going to use. Here's the glitter cardstock that I fight with the diamond press. In the end, as I said, I think I get my little heart punch and just punch some hearts out of it to stick on because it didn't want to work. So I had to change my idea for that top corner. So you should see some videos from me. This is number one. I've got, I think, one or two other videos to edit, or one that might be edited and needed voiceover. I have to double check now. Hopefully if I get time I might try and get that done tonight. And get them uploaded so that there's some more on my channel. And if you haven't checked out my blog, I now have a blog post that I try and post on every so often, every few days or so, just depending on where life takes me. So just look up, it's Scrappin, SCRAPPIN, AIMS, AMES, .wordpress.com. So that's my blog post site, so feel free to pop on over and have a look what I've got going on there. Sometimes if I've decided if I don't do a video, don't get a process video done for a layout I do, I might pop like a bit of an instruction step by step how I did this kind of thing on there. I did that with one of my other ones when the video just didn't work for whatever reason. So yeah, and as I said, in my Instagram as well as this page. So yeah, as I said, always feel free to leave me a comment, and you know, follow me, like, subscribe, all those good things. Let me know what you might want to see. If you've got any ideas and you think, oh yeah, I really like to, or if you've got any feedback, please let me know. I am still a novice at this whole, you know, social media scrapbooking world. I usually sit back in the distance and just follow people and watch their YouTube videos. Yeah. But I hope you're enjoying my videos and my posts and whatnot. And yeah, away we go. So I finally brought myself some fun foam. I'm not sure if I've used this on a previous layout yet or not. This is what happens when you I have a bit of a hiatus from editing and videoing, whatnot, forget. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I brought my little 4-pack, it's a big pack really, of 4 pages of foam. I think I brought it from Riot, and it was like $2, and I thought, oh my god, that's great. I wanted to give it a go because everyone seems to be, loving it, and it's so easy to work with. Somewhat much better than working, I find, with the foam tape, just because I think the fun foam gives that balanced sort of, when you stick it down, doesn't sort of look a bit bubbly or uneven. But yeah, so that's my new fun find. Alright, back to the layout, sorry. So just sticking that blue flower down, as I said, and I'm just using my Tombow glue with that and making sure it's really stuck to the mixed media. I should have probably pulled out my hot glue gun, but I really just, once I had the flow going with this layout, I wasn't stopping. So yeah, just fiddling around with that cluster up the top, pulling out some stamps here. These also came in a big diamond press pack that you get the stamps and the die cuts as well. I don't know if I use the stamp. I don't think I do, actually. Maybe not. Yeah, so just off to the side there, rummaging through, I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. More stamps. So I have this brilliant idea that I will do some heat embossing. There's a stamp that I've been dying to use that I got given or brought. I think it's called, is it Darkroom Door? And it's a scripty little stamp. I just have been dying to use it. And every time I pull it out to use it and I wanted to emboss with it, I was like, nah, didn't fit. This layout, to fill in some blanks there, it worked so well. So you'll see me do that in a minute. Hence I grabbed all the stamps, trying to decide where everything's going. Just working out where the journaling piece goes. Yeah, here we go. Trying to decide on what I want on the side. So I get out my VersaFine ink. And go looking for the stamp. Here it is. Don't know why, but I just love it. The whole scripty font thing, I absolutely love. I have a Kraft stencil as well that I've used as a back. Oh, there's my big head, sorry. As a backing, because for some reason it's just something I really like. And for this layout, this turned out super well, considering I'm pretty new to the whole embossing thing, trying some different techniques. And the first time I did it on one of my layouts, it worked okay. I just wasn't sure, so I've had a bit of a hunt for some tutorials, and yeah, my next step is to discover how to, not waste the embossing powder, because you'll see in a minute I never get it in the back in the container, so I have all this embossing powder for days on my craft mat. So just giving that a gentle tap just to move the embossing powder across all of the ink, so it has a full coverage across the stamp there, so there's no missed spots. That was one thing I learnt with the last one when I last did it. I do cut out the whole heat embossing thing, but I give you a bit of a glimpse at what I do. I did discover that just waving the heat gun over the top doesn't sort of melt whatever it does with the powder, so you do need to just sort of hold it in position and gently sort of heat it to get that even coverage and make sure it does set properly. So yeah, pretty proud of myself. It worked quite well. Yay me. Woohoo! And I do some more again, as you'll see. I liked it that much and was so proud of myself I decided I was going to do it again. Why not? I mean, once you've got something good going, figure it out. So here we go. I think this one turned out as well as the other. I'm just having a look at my layout. I always put my layouts next to me when I'm doing a voiceover so I can make sure I see what I'm talking about. So just sprinkling some more powder there, again making sure that there's a nice even coverage. Last time I did it, as I said, I didn't put enough powder on and I didn't sort of flick it around a bit. So you'll see here, I do it again, make sure the ink's completely covered with the blue powder. I only have 2 powders in my stash at the moment just because I wasn't sure how well I was going to enjoy the embossing. So I didn't want to sort of spend a heap of money on different coloured powders if I wasn't going to like it. And blue and pink, pink's the other one. Basically because I do generally girls and boys layouts because I have my son and then 2 girls, my daughter and stepdaughter, so I do their layouts. That way then that was my way of, coming down to a decision on what to buy. Now the challenge had some different leafy patterns across it. So as you can see in that top cluster, I found when I was looking for my stamp, some stickers that are like that leafy, they're a pale sort of leaf kind of flowery. So I made that part of the cluster as well because that was at the top as well. And then just put those leaves I found just down that bottom where the tags are. So as I said, this is for our 2016 family album. I do a family album and then an album for each of the children. The children's one doesn't go by year, it's just a progression. I try and keep it in as much chronological order as possible. And the family album's the same, although some layouts are a mix of photos from different points in time. So I put them in, and I just put them in at the back. But, yeah. So yeah, still catching up on 2016. Go me. Halfway through. Woo! Yeah, so now I'm just trying to figure out, I'm just going through my thickers, as you can see in the corner there, as to getting a title. I wasn't sure what to call it, so I just went with his name, and my kids call him Archerboy, especially my 3-year-old, it's really cute, they call him Archerboy. So just, yeah, going through these white thickers I have fell in love with. At first I thought, oh, white, I don't know how that's going to work, but oh, they've worked so well with some of the layouts I've done. They came in the Kitaholic kit for February, and I tried something a bit different here. I didn't know if it was going to work. I can't remember if I'd seen it somewhere else. So I get my gelatos, as you can see, and I actually colour them in, and then get the little dauber piece that came with it and just sort of rub it just to give it an even colouring. And I absolutely love how this turned out. So another win for this layout. Woohoo! So yeah, I go and I do 2 different colours. I think I do a light blue here for the word Archer, and then for boy I do a darker blue. So I've cut out that piece there. You saw the general gist of what I was doing, just so you didn't have to sit there and watch me put it all down. And now I'm just journaling on this little card piece here, and it just says, when we have bad storms, Archer comes inside. He has to be carried in, but he's in. LOL. Archer doesn't like being inside, as I said. And to bring him in to keep him safe, which you'd think, big storms or freezing cold, he'd be busting to get inside. No, usually my partner has to chase him around the yard and then has to carry him like you would a baby to get him inside. He is getting better though, the dog anyway. So just for this layout, I've not used any sort of wet glue as such to stick my things down. I've used double-sided tape. For the most part. I think for the flower piece, as I said at the top, I did use the Tombow wet glue. Other than that, I didn't. And at this stage, looking at it now, everything's still stuck down, so that's good. I know that sometimes when you use mixed media, you should probably use a wet glue, like a strong wet glue, just to make it stick down to adhere to the mixed media paste. So just checking over. That's right, not finished. I do decide it needs one more sort of thing to this, and it's I use the Heidi Swap Colour Shine in the darker blue colour. Hang on, I'll reach across and I'll tell you exactly what it is. Navy. There you go. Simple. So yeah, give it a bit of a good shake, and then I just go through and just put some splatters across the page, because I think in the sketch challenge it did have like spots across elements in the page. So instead of using sequins or anything like that, I decided I would use the Colour Shine, just for something different. And then I call it done. So I'm going to do some close-ups for you in a minute. I hope you liked this layout. I eventually enjoyed putting it together, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. As I said, I would never usually use that sort of brownie background, but I have, and it worked out really, really well, I thought. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And